There it is.
Mom, you're not supposed to do that.
Like,
Right.
what the heck? Like every time you
Picking him up. Yeah, that's what I think.
Oh, you might be
What?
Well, if it's picking me up, I'm probably going to be on her right side.
Right, now there it is.
No, it's like the
There it is. Uh-huh. We got
But
it.
it's
Sitting.
inside the car.
Yeah.
What they're
There
looking
goes Aaron
at.
right
Here, there it
Behind
is.
that is only the wall of the building.
Right, here. There it is.
It's like
They can't go
And
through
it
the
has
wall.
there's
They
the
can't be
three
picking up what's on the
faces.
opposite side of that.
It's not a
There it is.
Superman camera.
No, I did. No, it's on. I put it
So,
recording.
is it recording right
Yeah.
now? All right, so we're just going to leave it there while
Okay.
I kind of continue on,
Okay.
so that way I have some footage to either
Okay.
analyze. All right, so spirit boxes. So we're going to be using the beginner methods. I'm going to slow these guys down. That means that whoever's using a spirit box tonight, which there's going to be plenty of you, because they're all going to do something a little bit different, you're going to hear radio chatter, and you're going to tell me what the song lyrics, commercials, and DJs say, if you can make them out. The reason why is because if you can make it out, it's a 50-50 shot. I can tie it to a location, a ghost we're hunting, or a ghost you guys brought with you. So that's kind of how this goes. And Jay's like, man, I can
What do
hear
you
it
mean
already.
it goes to brought with us?
they leave once we finish the tour.
So, with this particular unit that I'm about to hand out, so Angela's going to be listening to this through a headset. However, it is recording. I'll be writing down whatever you hear in real time, but I'm not, when I go and spot check this recording, I'm not looking to validate what you heard, I'm looking to add to it. Does that make sense? So again, I want you guys to have plenty of notes and links to be able to go through. I don't validate because that would take me way too long to try to find
So
what
what's
you're
my job?
You're going to be listening to basically radio stations, sweeping through at a very fast rate. If you can hear a song lyric, a DJ, or a commercial, you're going to tell me what they said. Even the weirdest things that are going to pop up, that's mainly what we're looking for. It's a weird phrase, it's a word that really stood out amongst others, so forth and so on. So again, we'll talk a lot about this as we kind of move throughout the night. So the cool thing is I'm guessing you've never done this before. That's why we're using beginner methods.
Okay.
This is not an easy job. This is probably the hardest job out here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. So the cool thing for you is that it is recording, and you can't mess up the recording with volume. It records it nice and even. So you can mess with the volume as much as you want. Most people turn their spirit box down when I'm talking over the history, and then they crank them up when I say, all right, let's investigate. So your volume is right here. It's a wheel. And I'm going to turn it all the way down so you don't get blasted in the ear when you put those on.
But to be clear, these advertisements that she's hearing are not advertisements.
So I want you to...
Yeah, I'm confused.
Let me kind of
about
put this
it.
in perspective.
Okay.
So sometimes... well, has everybody seen the movie Transformers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of you like shrug your shoulders. There's a character in there named Bumblebee. He does not have a voice box.
Right.
He uses his car radio
Right.
to talk to us.
Right.
Same thing.
Okay.
Sometimes our ghost isn't strong enough to be able to use their own voice. They use what they can give us as far as a message. Make sense now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it now? Okay, perfect. That one goes to you.
It's not the same. It's different. That's not considered white noise.
So sometimes we will capture things in between, which is going to be that white noise, which is the static in between. But that's the rarity that I was talking about, where I'll find 12 to 15 of those a year, where it's definitely not radio chatter. So I can usually count the pulses because I have software to be able to do that. So if it goes over 13 different radio stations and it's a whole different voice and it's the same voice going
hasn't
across,
gone on
I can
for a
usually
while.
tell you if it was a radio station or
okay.
not. Make sense?
Yeah.
So
Is there a way
again,
to track down also where that came from or who it might be?
it depends on our location. So that goes for all three cams. And again, because by the time you think you see something and you hit the record button, it's already gone. That's why we just leave them run while we're in the space. All right, so where are we and why are we here? Drea's like, this is a parking lot. I don't want to be here. So this used to be the Pinckney Mansion site that belonged to Eliza and Charles Pinckney. Their mansion actually sat in the front of the space where the only two vehicles. We're fortunate enough to only have two cars in here tonight. It's pretty close to the front of the road there. Eliza's garden was actually lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So it actually overlapped and went back quite a bit further. It's just separated now for these times. Now, who the hell were Charles and Eliza Pinckney? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's three different Chucks. That's why we look for those secondary clues, everybody. I need to know which Charles is here so I know how to address them. Secondly, Charles, the son and the nephew, were both signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than everybody here, including Bridget. So we're going to move on. We're going to talk about Eliza instead. She has a much better history. So let's get into it. Eliza marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was, don't expect numbers from the colonial days like when she came from, like 12 and 14, when young ladies got married. think of when women got married today, because the husband was over double her age, and it was creepy then and creepy now. Sometimes I have to put my foot in my mouth, because sometimes I have a couple with that exact age group between them. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Got caught twice now, 4 years. But anyway, back to Eliza. She marries her husband because her father's over in England, where she's from. And the father thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his children home one last time so he can see him. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put right here and got married. It's 1744, guys. You don't get married in that year to get a green card. We are not a country yet. There's no such thing. So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story, believe it or not. Nothing horrific about this. So Eliza was right. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for now. However, when Eliza got the seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She actually had to learn from her servants and slaves on the property and from the plantations of what to do with it, because it's not always warm here. She had to keep it cultivated. Then she had to learn how to make the dye from them. She did that all right here, and then she moved it to a cash crop down by the Stone River, got a hold of Dad and told him that the rice plantation prices were going downhill, and they were going to make a killing with the indigo. They did. We now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. It is something absolutely unheard of. Now, that is the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird stuff, because that's why you guys are all here. So, what I'm going to do is, with each communication device, I'm going to give you a set of focus questions. If you go rogue and you start asking your own questions, make sure they're not yes/no questions. We've kind of already established that, and that you are respectful. If we're not respectful while we're here, all activity will stop, including our crazy EMF readings that we're already getting. So believe it or not, I'm actually really excited about your EMF readings. This is me excited, everybody. So I'm not a TV show host. I'm excited about those readings. So Angela and Iman, you guys are going to have the same set of questions because we're using the same style of spirit box. So these are just 4 common things that we normally get about her death. You're going to focus on her death. You're going to ask her how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are just 4 of the things that we commonly get while we're here. As far as the Ouija board, which would be Alex, it's going to tie in with what Michelle is using. You're going to be looking for Eliza's initials of ELP. So I say L because she's the second wife named Eliza. Obviously, that's a weird thing by itself, but both Eliza's wives had a maiden name that started with the letter L. So hopefully you are going to be able to get which Eliza we're dealing with by asking for her maiden name. You can also ask the age questions because that thing will give you numbers as well. So again, ELP is your major focus, and any words that might be spelled out for us. And last but not least, how am I getting you guys so mixed up? Okay, right? Aha! Perfect. So yours, can you see a mansion up there? There's no mansion there, right? No. Okay, so you're going to ask what happened to it, and then if you get the what, we might get the when, which is the date. So you're looking for numbers as well. Okay, so everybody's got questions. Everybody knows what they're working with as far as communication devices. All the cameras are already running, which is perfect. Let's see. I think I got everybody covered. I am going to keep Alex, Renee, and Drea all behind so I can teach them a little bit more about their devices. Everybody else, we're going to spread out, and then I'm going to be with every one of you in a minute or two so I can show them 3 a little bit more. But I want to see what's going on and give the communication devices an opportunity to start listening. Yeah, some people use their phones to take notes, and you guys are really good at this. All right, everybody, spread out. I'll be with everybody in a minute. You 3 stay with me for just a second.
I'm scared. I don't want to spread out. Let's go over here.
Hello, Eliza.
Anyone here?
We're here to say hi to you.
Mom,
We
that's
hear
kind of
that
creepy.
you were a brilliant businesswoman.
Are you there?
And so we're
What
just here to learn
happened to
about
the
you.
mansion?
Do you see that in the there? That's darling. Keep it up there. So it's now happening. Where was it?
What happened to the mansion?
Well, yes, go over here, up here a little bit, and then go in.
This is creepy.
Hi. We do hear you're brilliant. You told us that. And now what's going on? Are you here now?
Mom, you sound like a weird therapist.
Sorry.
That's a car.
You're here. What are your initials? How old were you when you died?
Move the device, Mom.
Sorry. Yes, she is. I hope you enjoy your life.
Afterlife.
And you're ending your afterlife.
Ask her what happened to the mansion. I could see a figure.
Is it Alex? Alex is, up top. Oh, sure. Is that in this tree here?
Yes, this is right there.
Okay.
It might be just like shadows and things, but that car keeps going off. That's a person.
I am here. Whoa.
Whoa. Go tell him. Tell him. She said, I am. That's cool.
Now I have the chills. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're at peace too.
We
And
want
that
to
you're
learn
happy.
more about you.
You did. It says I am here.
It's going to give you some spooky terms.
Okay.
So whenever you want to see the full word list, you want to go to the little box right here, and you'll be able to scroll through it. So this is what I do, is I kind of just take a quick look at it. I don't see anything. Mason might be something, but I need something more to kind of verify.
Right.
Yeah, so, and that's it. So both your buttons are on the right.
Okay. So what's the other button? Just here and what?
So you hit this one, and then the top right brings you back. You got it.
Okay, thank you. And she's been seeing something. And she's been seeing something up on the above the
Oh,
wall.
so anything with branches, Bridget, like, so see how it's picking up, like there's an outline right here? All these leaves are in front of another leaf, so it's always going to put those 3 points on there. So I usually debunk those pretty quickly.
Okay.
So,
Good to
but
know.
you're on the right track. Oh, also,
Okay, yes.
whenever it's going to pick up your shadow, so that's not a ghost on the ground, it's you. So keep that in mind too. If you guys.
Okay. Good. Thank you. I'm glad you're here, but this is interesting.
My stomach hurts because I've been had good posture.
Okay. Is that why it hurts? Not that you've been.
And you
eating
go
a
like
lot
this. Yeah. But when I do this, I lean against you.
It's a little chilly. Still same thing. The shadow of the car.
Mhm.
Clockwise.
What?
It says clockwise.
Am I turning clockwise?
You are.
Okay. Should I
going-
keep?
Yeah, keep going that way. Royal.
Where was she?
Like a royal
Royalty?
blue. Emma.
Emma?
Yep.
Who was Emma?
I don't know. Is that the E? Who's Emma? I thought your name was Eliza.
Do you know an Emma?
Don't know an Emma.
We got Royal, then Emma, right?
Uh-huh.
Can you tell him we got a name?
No. When he comes back, he'll check in. I'll show him the word list. Check in with other people.
Clockwise. I think it would be safe to be more people. I'm like scared.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. My back hurts. Oh my gosh. I need to like go like this. This hurts my back less. Anything? Move, Mom.
Okay. Dance. Wheat.
Are you gluten free?
Did you used to go
What'd you get? We got some name. We got a name. We got Emma, And we got clockwise.
I mean, now we have wheat.
And we got royal and wheat.
Right. And that would happen pretty fast.
And there was
How
no
about you?
people,
What have you got?
no figures. Yeah.
I mean, when I brought close to the power line, but nothing.
So wheat. I am here clockwise, royal, and my wheat in different times.
But you don't see the 3 dots or any kind of.
We did.
There were like
I love it.
branches.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those weren't.
That's really cool on the words.
Got a name. I think I am here was the closest.
Yeah.
And
would be
wheat.
Just Emma, the name.
Yeah, and wheat. Just wheat. Imagine if we got feet. But if it picks up a figure where there isn't anything remotely close to a figure, that's
Want to walk over to the other side?
the wheat.
Yep.
Is there anything else you can tell us? Okay, I think this is good. Skip. Should I start skipping?
No, do you want me to skip?
It said skip.
It says skip.
Oh, one of your words ones.
Yeah. Do you see something?
No.
Okay.
Like if it picks up anything in a tree, that's pretty much obviously just the tree.
Okay.
Or if like you don't see the person on the
Right.
camera, like I can't see Miss Renee on the camera, but I could see. Skip still. Sunrise. No.
Determination. Yes, she does have it. We got Emma. Was anyone named Emma?
And we got wheat and skip.
Wheat?
So
Yes.
determination, sunrise, skip, wheat, Emma, royal.
Still nothing.
I
Yeah,
wasn't sure
sometimes
if
I think
Emma
it's
was
super
in
great.
it.
Well, the royal is interesting because that's where indigo, like the term royal blue came from. It
right.
came from indigo.
Right,
So I do like it. I still want more.
right.
So hopefully I find something to verify that that's actually part of it.
Okay.
Like you can't see the people on the camera.
Uh-huh.
Like I can't see all these people on the camera, but like
Sometimes if they move closer, you have. I see
the
that.
the camera can see it, but I can't see people. I
Right.
can't see like these people. Like I can't see Miss Renee on the camera, but the camera can see Miss Renee on the camera. And there's
Run.
also like a
Okay.
run.
Yes.
There's like a figure right there, but I'm pretty sure that's a tree.
And that's the person. Okay.
Scared now.
I know, that's just freaking.
I'm scared.
Okay.
Can I go close to like a
Yeah,
group?
where is it? Okay. Now it says run.
This is what?
Run.
Yeah. I'm not running tonight.
Oh, and I don't know what those levels are.
Now it's
Does
so.
how
It went-
high it is make a difference?
So that means it's about to pick up a word.
Oh,
It does
okay.
growl and all kinds of things. We don't need all that. So I just turned the volume down on it. But
I can't hear it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
it's the volume's turned all the way down.
Okay. Okay.
Any other readings coming out of you? All right.
Okay.
We got run.
I just gonna go.
I know. Draft.
It's cold. Is that why?
I don't know. We're gonna stick together.
Well, and like when you mentioned the jail, like they were renovating it. It used to be a college of arts. That's what they had there. I didn't realize they finished renovating it.
Okay.
So then when he mentioned dangerous, it's because
Right.
of all the paranormal activity. So I remember, I haven't been on that because there's a jail tour you can go on. I'm not going to go on that tour now. He wasn't joking when he said he had equipment, was he?
Hardly.
When he had a what?
He had equipment to use.
Ooh. My coat's not long enough.
Are you warm enough, Butch?
Yeah.
I'm good, actually. Really? Okay. My hands are a little cold, but that's it. I just pulled my sleeves down. That's good. Both kids made it home, so we're good.
Thick. Thick.
And they, as he said, 20% accuracy. So
Yeah.
a lot of random words just pulled out of it. Yeah.
But the fact that you got, what was it, wheat and...
Well, the
I'm
royal
here.
was-
The royal,
and
yeah.
Emma,
Yeah.
the person's
Emma.
name. And I'm here was kind of creepy.
And run.
Yeah.
And skip. I was skipping.
Back to where we started over here.
Thick. What else did you get after thick?
I still have thick.
Okay.
Okay.
Thick. That's just kind of hilarious. Nice thick go.
Are you making a comment
Come
about
on, did
me?
you get anything else?
Not really.
What do you mean not really? What stood out?
I got like just a couple of words and then
Well, what were the couple of words?
the
Remember, it's all the weird things you don't know about. I'm withholding information.
I got some numbers. It was like 4, 5, 7.
Okay.
Just go. Them are the different ones. Didn't appear to me. Then I have a little yellow. He's not the one. Gas.
4, 5, 7 might be relevant based on what else I find. We'll see that guy in just a minute. Let's go ahead and put you on mute, if you don't mind. So really not a whole lot that I can see where it's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Everything's going on. If you're on camera, by all means, hit the stop button, give your hands a break. So again, here, the best shot to have is not necessarily on me, especially with Corey's back there. By the way, have I screwed up anybody's name too badly just yet? I know I've mixed up with some of them. Okay. But best shot is to actually get a long shot of the alley. So we never know what's actually going to show up. Are you lost? Is that what that just said? Somebody's phone just said, are you lost? I timed that perfectly.
You did, I was going to say.
So Iman and Angela, what have we heard so far? What did you guys hear along the way?
I took some notes. Father stood up and told him,
Okay.
in pain, joins me now. I think you could make Houston. I like it.
Okay. Iman?
They're here. There's families. Woman, be careful. Jesus, put some holy water. This
So notice the religious terms that she started to hear. We start to see that normally when we get closer to St. Philip's Church. It happens all the time. Notice you guys didn't really hear much when we were back at Pinckney Mansion. Every once in a while we will, especially if somebody's trying to talk about the church restaurant. This used to be an actual church. So it just depends on what's coming through. But normally we don't start to hear those religious terms until we're near the biggest steeple. So if you guys can't see that, it is St. Philip's Church. That's the tallest steeple we have. For those of you with cameras, if other tours or other people are going to be coming down here, so just kind of be mindful of that. You're going to be very discreet. So you're like super YouTuber. I love it. But in the event that somebody is coming by, just kind of lower it a little bit if you don't mind. So we'll kind of split the seas and let them pass through. People will come out of this wall from other tours, so don't be alarmed. They're not ghosts. They're just another tour coming through. It does happen quite often. Or they'll come in the exact same way that we did, or regular tourists that are not on a tour may come all the way through here. So when tours are not allowed past the halfway point of this location, I'll explain why, because I've actually been kicked out of here before. That's actually the fun part of our story. There is like still looking at me like, what the hell did we sign up with? But anyway, so welcome to Philadelphia Alley. This used to be called Jewelers Alley. So this is where some of the jewels used to occur for the city of Charleston. Oh, by the way, did you hear anything else that came out crazy in here? Sorry, keep forgetting to reach for your phone. Okay. Just
Right
had to look
there.
for a minute.
Right.
But
Anything
anyway.
with circle. I had circle and spear on the way over.
Spear?
Sphere
Sphere, got it.
and circle.
That's weird.
So it was circle, announcement, stars, sphere,
That's
remaining.
really weird. Okay.
So,
I don't know what that means, but I'm definitely gonna look in to see if there's any correlation.
okay.
Just weird that they came up together. But anyway, dueling was illegal, and they had to find hiding spots to go actually perform the duel. This happened to be one of those hiding spots. So here's how this goes. Every ghost tour comes down here. This was actually the location I was going to be taking out this year because every year I take out one space and add one new one. But the new space isn't really up to snuff for me just yet, and I'm still testing it out with much smaller groups. So we will not be visiting that new space tonight, just because again, a little larger group, and kind of seeing how this goes and giving that place a break first. But this one, it's kind of a cliche, and you're going to see that as we kind of go through this. Every ghost tour tells the same story. I'm going to give you the same story, but with a little bit more details. Just because you're ghost hunting, you're not on a cheesy campfire and marshmallow kind of ghost tour. So let's get into it. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. Alex, you're looking for the letters R-I specifically in that order. Okay, so that's obviously for the Rhode Island. It'll make more sense here in just a minute. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that the two spirit boxes with headphones hear the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it's not coincidence. We get it all the time because it's part of his name. So again, we're gonna keep that in mind. Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancee, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all this cash that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's mom. He tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. Dr. Ladd decides to come down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's money. And on his way into town, the coachman that he has that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It's kind of like having a really bad Uber driver, right? So he drops him off, and somebody's walking by and seeing what was about to unfold, and that passerby was named Ralph Isaacs. I say his name slowly because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. So this is the exact reason why I bought the device that Alex is using tonight, by the way. I was getting the letters R-I from regular spirit boxes. I bought that to verify it, and we have had it about half a dozen times so far in the past year. But anyway, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can stay there and rent a room and you'll be safe. The doctor took him up on the offer, and the two gentlemen became friends. Now, the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making because his medical practice is taking off. He's doing pretty well. Amanda gets wind of this up north in Rhode Island, and now she's moving down here so they can be married. Pretty cool, right? Dr. Ladd became known as the whistling doctor because he whistled all the time. It's a big cliche. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Anyway, every haunted city you're ever going to visit, by the way, is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. They all have one. Ours is just a doctor. Anyway, Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together, but they cannot sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So, on the way home from seeing Richard III, they're arguing over the new actress that was here in town. Doc thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. So it gets really ugly and they go their separate ways. Ralph has friends around town. He goes to his friends at the newspaper and tells them to place an ad for him, telling the whole city what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a you're a disgrace to society kind of argument in the newspaper. Doc saw the ad but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this and somebody's going to die. Keep in mind, this whole argument started over an actress. It's kind of a dumb argument for somebody to die over, right? So they came down, they took her 10 paces away from each other, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air and he shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage to show up to the fight. Ralph, however, has his one shot still. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doctor didn't die. He fell to the ground. Friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. I want to point out two things. It's 1786. First off, gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than what we know of them now. Secondly, he's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed, obviously, because he died. Now, every ghost tour tells you to listen for the whistles while you're down here. Aside from the air conditioner unit or heater unit that's running, it's always this quiet down here. So kind of keep that in mind. If you're going to try this on your own and actually walk all the way through here with your voice recorders from your phone, just remember every local knows this story I just told you. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. Every single one of us. So normally, before my garage where I parked my car was this way, my office is that way. So 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm always passing the alley. I always throw a whistle down the alley. I'm doing it every morning. So again, if you're going to do it, just keep that in mind. So, ever since I got thrown out of here is when I started doing that, by the way. So let me explain that whole part of the story. Let me first point out how I kind of came to be with this. This alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There was a wall up there. The reason why is because this was called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. So this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So cows and chickens and goats were down here, right? So they had to keep them all penned in. What does that mean for you? That means that the bricks on the other side, way down by Queen Street, are older than the ones you're standing on right now. Those bricks down there are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there in one of those bricks and fingerprint swipes in others. I used to take my teams all the way through the alley for a history lesson. Nothing paranormal about it. We all need to see that brick to show how far we've come from slavery, no matter the diversity of our groups, right? So November 26th of 2020, I took my group all the way down there, and they're all waiting for something to happen. With the equipment, I know nothing's gonna happen because I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid's not there. That's the last place you're gonna find him. So, trying to shoo him along, we're also outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was just trying to be respectful to somebody's home, not realizing I was out of bounds for tours. A gentleman who owned the mansion came out screaming. My daughter, who was on the tour that night, thought it was hysterical because Dad's getting yelled at, and she thought it was great. But we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I used to work for upper management for Walmart, and you guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You've scarred me for life. I will never work on Thanksgiving ever again. So the next day, I called my partner in the morning, and I told him what happened. It was my partner at the time. I don't hang out with him anymore, but he started laughing at me just like my daughter did, and he said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. Anything residential is off limits. So I was kind of like, okay, cool. Now I got to reroute my group. But I told them that group that night, because it's Black Friday, right? Right after Thanksgiving, I'm sold out again. So I got to tell them, I don't believe in the next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates. We're talking about pirates next, in case you didn't pick up on that. However, somebody with a spirit box before we left heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we're going to be diving into. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, oh man, we'll see what happens. We get over there, I told them what I did know about pirates, which wasn't much then. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. I didn't know what it meant, I wrote it down. I did the research for them. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720, the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So I normally get the oh wows and ooh, that's cool. I was actually pretty pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing and an English degree and a journalism degree. Okay, so I have a lot of writing degrees, which means I write a lot. When I'm writing, and especially when I'm doing an investigation, I like facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore. Well, guess what? Pirate lore was written over 100 years after the events occurred during the golden age of piracy. That's a problem. That means I have to read more books on pirates, a subject I wasn't too keen on, to verify everything you guys were finding on the tours, because I had to keep going back. And guess what? We're still going back 3 years later. So, again, with this, just keep in mind when we get over there, I've done a ton of research on this. It is a big roll of the dice if she'll be there. That's why I like to bleed over from Dr. Ladd as well, because we will get some of that. So I'll give you the history of Anne Bonny, of what I know about that, and why we're there. I'll always give you the why. So remember I told you about the Pinckney Mansion? We're here because this is where Dr. Ladd obviously had his big event of his duel. And I'll explain why we're going to be going over there to talk about Anne Bonny. The last location after that is going to be the Estes method. So I'll explain that before we leave, but just keep in mind 2 of you will be blindfolded and a 3rd person will be in virtual reality. Yes, I will explain all of it because some of you are now looking at me like, holy cow, what is happening? So we're going to go super high tech on this and I'll show you exactly how it works. It's super fun, even as spectators, to watch it unfold. Because the 3 people that will be under something with their eyes will not know the history of the space, but the rest of you will. So I like to do it that way, so that way it's definitely a true test of what's going on with that particular location. So Angela's now looking at me with kind of curious eyes, like, oh my God, what is happening? So any other major questions about duels that occurred down here? Or have we heard or seen anything, Michelle? Mainly because...
short, abnormal human donations.
Damn, we got a whole lot of nothing out of that list so far tonight. And again, I'm not afraid to say that we're not getting a whole lot. So just kind of keep that in mind. If we're not getting a lot, we're not getting a lot. I'm not going to make and fluff things for you. You know, this is not TV. So anything shown on the cameras, Corey, I know you were like super focused. Like you were laser focused. Yeah. Bridget, what about you? Did you see any guys walking towards us? No crazy purple stick men? All right. So Day, you can unmute as we're exiting and going up to talk about pirates. If you have a camera and you want to keep it running because we're just going around the corner, by all means do so. But definitely spirit boxes, headphone ones, and the regular SP11. We're going to be listening in until we get to go talk to pirates. Let's go see what we can do about rated R pirates, right? All right, let's do this. All right.
Can you hold my feeling? I'm scared. There might be a figure in that bush, but I think it's just the bush.
Okay. Where?
Right there. that area over there, but I think it was just how the palm tree came out, like an arm from the bush, which might have been a body. But it was just a bush. Try and not move your arm too much when you walk, because then this moves up, shakes a lot, and it won't be able to get figures. Like if it shakes a lot, it will just go.
Where's your name? There you are. Okay, you doing okay?
This is sweet.
Do you like having the device?
I got like the most boring one.
I think it's the most exciting.
You got words. What does that say?
Extraordinary. See?
I got the least. You got the one. I think yours is cool.
Well, it just comes up with these random words that he doesn't know what to make of. I don't think it's...
At least you got some words.
But you have figures.
I haven't gotten any figures
But
yet.
you have to do that first. They say they don't come up very often.
I got 0 figures.
Well, you
Yours
also
don't
have to turn around more away from people so that they can actually see. Because right now, all you see is people.
Well, we're walking through. And he's just stay.
Carpet.
What?
Carpet.
Carpet. Since it's recording, I don't need to. I'm just trying.
But you guys aren't from Blythewood. You don't have 7 accents. Are you really?
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just that pole. It's just a pole.
Oh, okay.
Because you know they're all those pink cotton twine.
It's by the church.
The carpet.
And because it's
Sounds
Richland
really
County
good.
Schools too, right? Yeah. So that makes a big difference. It's a beautiful area there.
Kind of looks like it's dance.
Huh?
Kind of looks like they dance. No.
That is the church. There's our people. Renee.
Maybe 2% of the time there's a figure where there
Yeah.
isn't anything. You gotta put down the
You
camera
have to
and look
find-
and see and make sure there's nothing.
Well, the
like
church is over there.
that nothing.
So is there anything up in the steeple?
So this is the cemetery, and then there's a church over there, and there's a cemetery right in front of it.
All right, but he says things don't hang out in cemeteries.
Right. No, exactly.
But it does. Someone would definitely hang out in a church.
Yeah. Parents' names. What were the parents' names? The color of the hair.
And the town in Ireland.
Town in Ireland she was from.
Or just you can stop by and say hi, but don't stay too long.
Still on Divine, yeah, because maybe it's by the churches.
Yep. And you can pull. Oh, you did. La, there you are.
It's interesting too that you have to walk around to catch them because they move so quickly, right? Because that's
I
what
don't
he was
know.
saying too with
Really?
the readings, that there might be like a 2.5 reading, but then it would drop immediately like 0.6.
Okay.
He said it wouldn't stay there. If it stays there, it's probably an electrical line.
Okay.
Any new words?
No. Still in the phone.
Oh yeah. Yesterday. Name of the city in Ireland. What was the name of the city in Ireland where you were from? The town in Ireland. What were your parents' names? And what was the other one? What color was your
Right
hair?
here. Yep.
There's another tour walking off. There's a lot of tours. Oh,
Oh
married.
yeah.
Married. Your
What?
parents were married, and what were their names?
No, they weren't.
Oh,
Well,
they weren't.
her mother was his mistress,
Oh,
and so
and she died. That's right.
right. But her dad's wife
Well,
was
he was
left.
married. Your
in-
dad was married. That's right.
Right.
Your dad
Yes,
was
belong.
married.
Okay. Who do you belong with? Mm-hmm.
Where does she belong?
I don't know. You maybe belong here. But
Alright, anything weird, ladies?
she had divine.
And married.
And married.
And
I like married.
belong.
Oh, you guys switched it up. I like it.
Yeah.
So once I regroup us, somebody's actually asked to use the restroom. There are no restrooms out here, so we're going to go to my office, which is right up the corner.
Okay.
And along the way, we're all going to go into an elevator and up to my office. So if anybody needs to use the restroom and warm up for a few minutes, it's a
Okay.
perfect, quick little 5 to 8
Yes.
minute stop.
Good.
Before we go do our last
Okay.
location. So
Okay.
there's plenty
Sounds
of
good.
I use
Great.
a co-working space.
Okay,
So
uh-huh.
there's like 4 restrooms in there. So
Great.
it's fine.
Pretty.
All right, so I'm going to regroup.
Okay.
There's a whole lot going on. You doing all right?
Okay.
You can try it.
The Irish club's open.
Is it still open?
Yeah.
That's usually where I send people, but it's yeah, you can just hand him that spirit box. He can-
Do you need to go to the bathroom, Bridge, or are you okay? No? Okay. You're just cold.
She was the one that asked, so if she's gonna go
Okay.
over there, then we'll go straight to our next location.
Okay. Okay.
Pretty.
Pretty. Oh. Okay.
What were your parents' name? What city were you from?
And we called Pretty Ann. Huh.
What color was your hair? Was your hair pretty? Yeah, your hair was pretty. What color was your hair?
Or is Bridget pretty?
So many questions. Just one question.
Okay.
Which one do you want to ask?
Okay. People. Well, it's late. It's now
Yeah, it's almost 11.
10:47. So we have about 45 minutes or so, okay? Sexy.
It's like the color of like lipstick, like red.
Uh-huh.
Sexy red.
I
Maybe
don't
her
know.
hair was red.
Sexy. That's funny.
Breaking.
Breaking.
I don't know. Breaking a heart, breaking out of prison. Huh. Okay.
Alright, so I am going to start to pull us over towards the wall while we're waiting on Angie at the restroom, and we'll kind of start to wrap this up so that way you can see the last bit of Angie.
Okay. Yes. So? Oh, I'm sorry. Zoe?
Zoe.
Nick, is there any name Zoe?
Anybody wants to sit down while we start to wrap this up, you can. Give yourself a little bit of a break.
Rich, you want to sit down? Okay.
All right, let's regroup over here, and I'll kind of show you what's going on.
Okay.
If you have a camera, by all means, hit the stop button.
Okay.
Give those hands a break.
Yeah, come here. You want to sit right up?
Remember the key in the morning I gave you guys at the top of the night, the headache, the nausea, the dizziness. This location on who we're looking for here, and then we're going to come back and do this experiment. I will tell you what to expect out of this. So you're going to have a few tips and tricks, if that makes sense. None of you have ever done things like this before, so hopefully we have a fully successful experiment. Aha, told you. It's weird, isn't it? Nope, you're good. Even if you did, I got more. By the way, for those of you that are wondering like what these blindfolds are, you can buy them in bulk on Amazon. They're under the 50 Shades of Grey tab. No, I'm kidding. Did I say that out loud with a bunch of teenagers here? I sure did. So, anyway, you guys figure that out. Angie's still looking at it like, oh my god. You guys become besties, I'm going to go teach them the history. The rest of you are following me.
Come on. You can. It's not that further. We're from Michigan. How about yourself? Okay.
And there's still a couple of pieces in there.
Detroit area?
Yeah, Ann Arbor.
Oh, all right. Here's where we're going. We're going to in so they can't hear us.
Okay,
I'm gonna
let me
talk
go
really
in a little
low.
bit closer.
So the first time I came in here, this was the new space for last year. I didn't know what to expect because everybody will come in and either talk about Washington the same way Alex just did, or they
You got it?
Then we should have some chocolate. Oh, water.
So everybody kind of group around nice and tight.
I can't take credit for figuring this out. She did.
Do you guys have that wrapped all the way around your head? Or do you have it like a Batman mask?
No, we have it like with the ear holes. She figured that out.
Kudos to you. Good job.
you.
A+ to you. All right, get you a gold star sticker later. So you guys are going to be telling me everything you hear, and as it happens. So if you're too loud, Corey's going to tap you on the shoulder, and it's quite loud. So with that, Dave's going to tap you on the shoulder because you're going to not be able to.
So we're doing the same thing we did, but just saying it out loud.
You got it. And you're also going to have your spirit boxes loud enough where you can't hear me, because you're not going to know what the questions are. That's the whole point. So they know that history is where we're going to be trying to contact. You guys don't. So I don't want you searching for anything.
Just say what we hear.
You got it.
Okay.
I'm also going to ask if you hear yes, no. Let me know that you heard yes or no. You don't know what questions I'm asking. So that's where in this kind of instance is okay. I'm looking for that direct answer. And I usually, if I'm asking our ghost a certain specific question, I'm like, hey, that's a yes, no answer. And hopefully I get the correct answer out of one of you. So if you hear an odd sound, just say what the sound is. Something you would recognize. Like, for example, if you hear a bicycle bell, say, I just heard a bicycle bell. You know what I mean? That kind of tone. With that, you guys can go ahead. We're only going to keep you guys under for 10 minutes, by the way. And when you guys get your tap on the leg, that means we are done. You take off your own gear. I will never touch any of you. You're going to be able to
How do
hear.
we know if it's yes or no if we can't hear it? If it's supposed to be yes or no?
You're not. That's the point.
Oh, okay.
I want you to be loud enough to where you can't hear me
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
at all. So my phone is going to go in there. So
Yes.
you're basically
Oh, but
going to
you
see a
probably
bunch of
asked him if it's
in
not.
there. Have you ever done virtual reality before? This is
Yeah.
not going to be 3D in your face kind of stuff. It's just going to be a picture floating. You're going to have great floating that just kind of fill in around. I think that in there, that's hanging out.
There it is.
So just kind of keep that in mind. In the pictures, you will know when a picture shows up. So again, you're like, oh my god, I see this. Keep it simple because they don't know that they're going to be talking over you. So if you see 3 ladies on the bench, say 3 ladies on the bench. If they're not saying much, I'll ask you to start probing questions. What are they doing? That kind of thing. What are they wearing? So once I slide this in, you guys will be good to go. So you guys are definitely already there. So go ahead and get started as I'm setting this up. And as soon as you start hearing things, start talking. Again, if you're too loud, you'll get a tap on the shoulder. We have neighbors nearby. I try not to piss them off. So 11:16, and we are at go. I'm going to wait to see if they can hear me. Go ahead and get your finger off that clock. What color is the blue banana? Okay, they can't hear me. Henry, I got 3 ladies on a bench tonight. 2 of them are blindfolded, so they can see, or they can hear whatever you want us to, hear from you. This is Angie. This is Amon. And then we have Day, who's using the green box tonight, looking at the images you're going to be able to portray. We're going to start off with simple questions like we always do. To come with respect, as always. Can you tell me something about your occupation, please?
Didn't mean it.
Tell me something about your occupation.
I want you to know.
What do you want us to know? I'm asking about your occupation. Let's get into it. This is where we definitely keep an eye on that word list too, just so you guys know.
Just laughing.
Okay. Henry, did you bring somebody else here with you? We're at a different location of the park that we don't normally do this in.
To celebrate the birthday.
Comfort and power.
It's a little loud, Corey. Can you tap her on the shoulder?
Some amazing.
Henry, whose birthday are we celebrating?
3.
I don't know of anybody's birthday besides one person in our group, and you probably wouldn't know that it was their birthday. Hey, just let us know whenever you see something. Can you see the gray smoke in there? Yeah. Okay. So sometimes we don't get any images. It just depends. Sometimes we get like up to 12. Just never know. Henry, back to you. Did you bring somebody else with you? If you did, let us know what their first name is, please. But I'm still asking about your occupation. Henry?
Forgive me?
What?
Labor.
Henry? Brought Dr. Ladd with you here tonight. He's not welcome. We're looking to speak with Henry only.
Pro.
Henry, what did you do for a living? What did you do to make your money to feed your family?
Business sensation.
What did you do? Give us the
Travel.
You did not travel. You were a local native and never left. Henry, we're looking for some pretty simple answers here. You want to get into something else? You want to talk about the war? That's a yes, no question.
Murder.
See that? Let's talk about your work in the war. What did you do? Were you a soldier?
Eddie.
Tell us if you were a soldier. That's a yes, no question. Or you can say the word soldier somewhere. I'll take it.
Gone.
Who's gone?
Peter.
I don't know who Peter is.
Priest?
Peter was a priest, everybody. Apparently.
Death.
I don't know who this Peter priest who died is.
Huge selection.
We're gonna move on.
Hear music.
Let's go on to something a little happier for your life. Can you tell us something about your wife? Maybe how you met her, how old she was when you met her, what her name is. We're looking to verify that you're actually here. We don't have the large crowds in here like we did last night, Henry. It's just us.
What did
Samson?
she do?
You were supposed to be telling me what she did. How did you meet your wife? What was the relationship like? He was her school teacher, by the way. She was only 16 years old when we met.
You won.
I know I tell you guys about some weird marriages and dead babies. I'm sorry. Weird stories. of Charles.
Vulnerability?
Vulnerability. I'm sure that went along with her 16 years of age at that time.
They lost.
Tell us about your wife. What was her name?
Back of the barn.
Wow. Getting dirty.
Soldiers.
Oh. What kind of soldiers? Can you tell me what time period maybe?
Definitely like the Revolutionary War.
Pretty far back, huh?
There's like a red
Red scarf. Yeah.
and there's white hats, black hats, brown jackets.
Okay. tell us her maiden name? It should be an easy grab for these ladies to be able to tell us that. The last name is Goodwin, by the way, so the word good will pop up when I ask the question.
379.
Henry, that's your wife. Tell us her first name. We are running out of time. We've been under almost 7 minutes, everybody. This goes by pretty quick. And to them, it's going to feel like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Well, not today. She knows exactly how long she's been here. We always talk about day. Even though she's blindfolded, she can hear you. Henry, notice
Neighbors.
notice that they weren't talking as I was kind of talking to you. Like, you got to look at the actions of this whole ordeal as well. Is that normal for her to breathe like that? Like she just kind of gave like almost like a very deep exhale.
Faster.
Just want to make sure she's okay.
Yeah,
This is why I don't.
65.
This is why I don't take notes. What about 65? Henry, 1865. What happened in that year? That was the year of his son's death, by the way.
12 months.
He was 9 months. You want to talk about Willie? Can you tell us something else about Willie? Maybe when he was born? Henry?
Out of time.
Running on a topic that I'll bring up unless it's something that comes here. Henry, let's get back to Willie. Can you tell us who he was named after?
12.
12 again. It's his birthday. 12 what? Remember, he's born on Christmas Eve, everybody. 12 what?
Show you one.
What was the exact date?
London.
16 numbers.
Kenny.
Yeah, you got anything? Falling asleep in there? Looks like a Cuban cigar? Henry, we're on the subject of Willie. You were on a roll there. We had a couple of really good clues. You said the number 12 several times. I want the rest of the date. That was his birthday. This is how I learn, Henry. I got you.
Gospel music.
1575.
We'll be waiting.
Letters.
Look at you. What do you got in front of you? Give me the last 3 letters.
Excuse me.
A lot of nothing. A prescription. Henry, we're running out of time. Do you want us to go home? You want to tell us goodnight?
Sun is setting.
Yeah. It's said a long time ago for us.
Excuse me. I got a
Other
tickle.
words. You got anything coming through?
Faster.
Faster. Henry, can you tell us goodnight? Henry? I thought for sure she was going to be a chatterbox, just so you guys know. I thought like, I wasn't
1989.
even going to be able to get her to shut up. She's been pretty quiet since this whole thing.
There's like a staircase with a door right here. Stairs.
We had something similar like that the other night. Can you give me a time period on
Back
that?
home.
What style of house it is? Like how old it is?
Don't worry, church woman.
We'll take a look at it. So far we got 2 images.
Looks like there's a woman at the top.
Oh. What time period is she from?
Like, I don't know, she's like a white dress. Something like that. It's kind of blue.
And it's doing that to generate. It'll come a still image when I show it to you. Henry, last chance. You want to tell us goodnight? We'll get out of your hair. We'll leave you alone. Henry?
Girl.
Henry going once. I heard you.
Oh, no.
Henry going twice. Wow. Silence.
11.
Study.
I'm trying to study, Henry. You're not giving me much tonight, so we're going to call it a night. Are you okay with that? Here's our cue to tap them out.